everyone. I'm Jeff Paulson. Welcome to another edition of Inside Milford. Alai fans love to root for their favorite players. And with a ballot in a recent edition of Fronton Focus, had a chance to vote for their favorites. Inclan was voted the most popular player in the front court, and for the second year in a row, Bucci the most popular backcourtman. Nancy Grossman of Flushing, New York, has her own favorite player. His name is James, and she had a chance to meet him on Friday night.
James, meet this one.
I can't believe it. All the guys I think are great, but James, he's the best. It's the way he just throws the ball is so cool, you know? I mean, he does a great job. I'm sorry you didn't win, but...
Well, thank you for voting for me.
You're welcome.
Sammy Inclan, who had been out with a back injury, recently returned to action earlier than expected. He still has a shot at the Wins title and intends to give Bolivar a run for it.
Well, I don't feel completely perfect, but I just want to try to see if I can, still win the championship. And if it doesn't go worse, I'm going to keep playing. But I'm still not 100%. I can play with my right side. I hurt my muscle, the last muscle of the ribs. So when I serve, it hurts. Yeah, I'm going behind. It's because I scratched with my knee injury for 21 days. Now with my back, 20 days. So I'm out for a month and 10 days. I'm disappointed because, it happened twice when I was in the lead, and when you feel the best and when you least expect it, you got an injury, and there's nothing you can do about that.
With another edition of Talkin' Alai, and I'm here with Bob Schuster of Milford Alai. Bob, Inclan went down on October 6th. He pulled the muscle in his back. He's returned to action. When did he come back? How does he feel, and how has he done so far?
Came back a couple of days ago, Jeff. Returned to action here on October 24th, which was actually a couple of days ahead of his own projection. He figured he would be back in the lineup on Friday night, October 26th, and I don't think he was rushing it, but I do think he was anxious to get lineup. And I talked to him earlier this evening, and he said that there is still some pain. And again, for those viewers who are not familiar with the original injury, Inclan pulled a rib cage muscle way back, as you said, on October 6th. At first, they thought the injury was not serious. It turned out that it was much more serious than at first believed. He says there's a little pain now. It affects him particularly when he's serving. But he also said at this point in the season, it's time to go for it, because, again, he is looking to become a back-to-back Wins champion here.
We're winding down to the end of the season. People are always looking forward to who's going to win the awards on closing night. In the past, people have been used to keeping track of who wins the individual games.
Of $1,500. And then the second-place finisher got $500. What we have done is we have taken some of that prize money, and we're going to distribute it, I would think, in a more equitable manner. The player who wins the championship here gets $2,500. The second-place finisher gets $1,500, and there are also cash prizes for the third, fourth, and fifth-place finisher. I just think it puts more of an accent on the most important category in the Fronton, and that is wins. And again, right now, the battle looms between Bolivar and Inclan. Inclan won it last year. He was leading this year, went down with the injury. Bolivar has a pretty good lead right now, but doesn't gain. But I think Inclan really has a good shot at making a run at him.
Yeah, Bolivar actually played 105 games between the time that Inclan left with an injury and he came back. He only won like 16 games, so he doesn't have that big a lead. Okay, the Super Series, we're one-third of the way through this thing. There have been some surprises, some disappointments. Tell us about it.
Well, again, the surprises, we alluded to one of them last week, and that was the play of Zubi Karai and Alorza, who I think have developed into a good team, and also Bucci and Roland. They were the leaders last year and continue to lead this tournament. Bucci, Karai, and Alorza seem to have meshed very well as a team. And again, in Alai, you can't look at a team and say, just because the front court player is superior and the back court player is, that the team is going to be superior. Instead, it's a mesh of the individual talents and bringing them together as a team. And as I said last week, I think Zubi Karai and Alorza Roland are good examples of that.
Quickly, people who follow the game of the week might look at tonight's program and say, I'm seeing things. What am I talking about?
Well, the players involved also think they're seeing things. Roger and Macalino have qualified for this game 3 times in the last 4 weeks. They have, by random, been paired together on the same team 3 times in the last 4 weeks.
We'll be back next week with another edition of Talkin' Highlight. Here are this week's Fronton figures. Inclan won 7 games this week, but only made up 2 games on Boulevard, who won 5 times. In doubles competition, Sorozabal and Alfonso lead with 18 victories. The top Quinella was the 1-5, coming in 11 times. The most frequently hit exacta was 5-1, appearing on 9 occasions. For the season, the 5-1-4 came in 33 times. Here are the top prices. The top trifecta of the week, the 6-8-4, paid $6,910.95. The biggest Quinella of the season occurred this week when the 7-8 came in. It paid $227.40. We're about 1/3 of the way through the 56-game Super Series, and Bucci and Roland have gotten off to a good start. The first 2 finishers in the series will compete in a 12-point partido on the final Friday night of the meet. Bucci and Roland feel they work well together as a team because they communicate on the court. Let balls to take and which ones to let go. This, they feel, will allow them to reach their goal, getting into the partido and winning it.
The hardest part in a partido is the communication with the partner. To me, that's number 1. Better communication, the easiest you have a chance to win a game. But because of the way we play in Quinellas, we have different partners every day, every game different partners, and you have to act different with all of them. Some you have to speak in English, some you have to speak in Spanish, some speak in Basque, some in French, and you try different tactics with different players. You never make sure you know which one you are playing with. So the idea with those tournament games, we have a few weeks to practice good together, getting ready for this partido match if we're going to be selected to play. So I'm really working on trying to talk to him whenever I make a mistake or whenever he make a mistake. It's no big deal to do something wrong, as long as you understand what you did wrong. So next time you don't do it again. I really bother me when we do the same mistake twice, 3 times. That's what really bothers me, by misunderstanding each other.
Roland has a lot of experience, so he's pretty crafty. He knows when to throw hard, when not to throw so hard. He tries to help me what ball to pick. I'm not as experienced as he is, so I try to listen to how he helps me out a lot. Not to mention he's got good power and catching ability. He's pretty much got everything good partner you'd want to have.
Americans don't normally play partidos, but the game is commonplace in the Basque region.
I've never played partidos professionally, but before I was professional, I went to a tournament in South America in Uruguay, an amateur championship with a team with Cruz, and it was an amateur tournament, and we all played partidos for the tournament. So in preparation for that tournament, as well as playing in that tournament, we played 35-point matches, partido matches, and I liked it a lot, but my experience with partidos hasn't been that much.
Well, I played partidos in France and in Spain. Before I came to this country, I played 2 years in Spain, every day of the month, and you get it first, and you play differently too. You're not worried about making a mistake because you're gonna play another point again. So you can throw anything you want. You can take risk more often, because even if you miss, you're still gonna play. If you feel in good shape already, you feel ahead of the other guys. Feeling strong is very important.
The first thing you do is you have to get a cesta, which is basically just a long string, and it would be sewn in a loop at one end. And there's a loop on the glove of the basket, and you're basically just going to stick the string through the loop and onto the end of the basket, which is called the taco. And you just stick the loop on like that, put your hand in the glove, and just basically weave the string around the taco once or twice around the back of the basket, just depending on your own personal preference, and just kind of pull the string through over another string that's already been. And how tight or loose you would pull would be basically a preference of the player. Also, how tight or loose you would like the glove would also be, you know, the player's personal preference. Personally, I like it almost right in the middle, and I almost tie my basket after every 1 or 2 points. I always take it off and reset it, retie the basket.
Highlight courts throughout the country and the world are different, and it often takes a player time to get adjusted when coming into a new building. Jimmy Baleka, who has played at Bridgeport since 1989, joined the Milford roster in June. It took him a little while to get comfortable, and he got off to a slow start. But he now finds himself among the overall wins leaders at the Fronton.
The first month I had a bad time. I only had 14 wins the first month, and I wasn't used to the court at all. I wasn't playing aggressive. I wasn't going at the ball 100%. A lot of little things. I was getting used to the bounce. It's longer, it's wider. And at first I started panicking after the first month, because I only had 14 wins, and I said, I don't know if I could cut it. But then after a while, it's come natural. The court's a natural court.
I think I said that maybe in his case, because it was the first time the court was different to the one he was playing, that will be the latest one to develop his ability, but once he knows the court, it was my opinion that he'll be the one from the new ones doing the best. And I think that's the way it goes. And it's a kid that is very strong, and now I feel he's comfortable with the court, and he's playing in his potential.
Baleka, a native of Bridgeport, Connecticut, began playing highlight at an early age.
I started when I was 11 at the highlight school in Bridgeport, and I put a basket on and I just threw it. It came natural, I guess. I hit the front wall for the first time, and that was it. I started at Bridgeport in 1988, and worked at the Bridgeport Post before that. I stopped playing in 1984 and started again in 1988, and gets like riding a bicycle, just comes back to you.
Baleka recently broke into the top 5 in overall wins, but has had difficulty keeping pace with the leaders.
I was playing well a few weeks ago, and this past week I'd say I've been in a little slump. I'm getting a possible, but I can't finish the game. A lot of that has to do with luck, I think. When the luck's going your way, it's easy. The games I was winning maybe 2 games a night, sometimes 3 games a night, consistently, at least 1 game a night. And this past week, little slump, but I should be coming out of it, hopefully pretty soon. There's a lot of pressure. You're watching players ahead of you, players behind you that are coming on strong. I think I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself just to stay in the top 5. Basically, if you look at the book, or every game you're watching to see who's winning, and it's going to get more stressful, I think, within the next. See how I handle it.
Baleka finding a home at the Milford Fronton. And now it's time for the game of the week. In this hotly played contest, the top 8 front courtmen and the top 8 back courtmen are randomly paired together. The post positions are also randomly chosen. Here is a look at the closing odds. The fans made Sorozabal and Augie in post 4 the favorites at 7-2. Pedrario and Elorza in post 6, and Greg and Roland were sent off at 4-1. spectacular 7 scoring in this heated contest. In the first round, the points are worth 1. Once everyone has had a turn, the points double. The team to score 7 points first wins. We pick up action as the second round begins. All points are now doubled. Post 8, Greg and Roland taking on the 1, William and Art. Here, Post 8 tries to work on early game backcourt Menard. Roland catches on the forehand, sends one deep. Art can't make this catch on his left side. The 8 has a couple more. Next in line is Post 2, Mark and Tony. Here, Mark takes this serve, fires the backhand carom. The 2 takes 2. The 2 now plays the 3, David and Tomas. A nice catch by Mark right along the wall. Sends this high bouncer deep. Tomas is there to pick it up. Sends one into the backcourt. Tony lets it go. Mark is there for the rebote. David can't make this pickup. The 2 has a couple more. The points count 2. The 2 has 5. Possible game point for the 2. Mark underserves. The points go to Post 4, Sorozabal and Augie. The 4 then plays the 6, Pedrario and Elorza the second. Here's Elorza in the backcourt on his forehand. Fires one deep. Sorozabal is there on his left side. Sends the reverse into the backcourt. Elorza lets this go. Handles the rebote. Sorozabal can't make the Matador-type pickup. Score the points for the 6. Post 6 then plays the 5, Shabbat and Andoneghi, but Shabbat can't handle the serve. The 6 has a couple more. Next in line is the 7, Roger and Macalino. Roger takes up the whole court, pulls this ball in at the 10 line. Elorza digs this ball out with a fine rebote save. Roger will run it down on the forehand, fires a carom. Pedrario is on the wood, sends it back inside for the winner. Score the points for the 6. Giving them 6, a now possible game point for Pedrario and Elorza. William takes the serve, fires to the outside. The 6 is down. The points go to Post 1, William and Art. The 1 then plays Post 8, Greg and Roland. This is the second time in the game that these two teams have met. The first time up, Post 8 tried to work on Art in the backcourt, and he eventually committed the drop. Here, William sends one deep. Here's Roland on the forehand. Trying to keep it in the backcourt, William outstretches to make this catch. He throws one. Greg pulls it in on the forehand, fires into the backcourt. William takes the rebote. Roland runs this ball down on the backhand, throws the reverse into the backcourt. Again, another rebote for William. This time he can't convert. Score the points for the 8. Points count 2. The 8 has 5. Possible game point for Greg and Roland in Post 8. Trying to stop them will be the 3, David and Tomas. Here's Tomas deep in the backcourt, fires this carom, and Roland for the winner. Score the points for the 3. The 3 then plays the 2, Mark and Tony, who have game point for the second time in the game. Mark catches the serve, tries to get everybody off, fires this shot out of bounds. The 3 has a couple more. The points count 2, and the 3 has 5. Possible game point now for David and Tomas in Post 3 as the parade of game points continue. Trying to stop them will be the 4, Sorozabal and Augie. Here's Augie on the left side. Fires one deep. David is there for the catch on his left side. Here's a nice rebote by Sorozabal. It will be run down by Tomas in the backcourt on his left side. Lobs one off the front wall, and Augie will be there for the catch on the forehand. Fires one close to the wall. Tomas is right there in the forehand. Returns deep into the backcourt, but out of bounds. Score the points for the 4. The points count 2. The 4 will have 5. Possible game point for Sorozabal and Augie in Post 4. And trying to stop them will be the 5, Shabbat and Andoneghi, who have not had much success in this game so far. Here's Andoneghi running down the serve on his left side. Fires off the back wall. Good communication as Sorozabal takes the rebote. Shabbat goes low to make this catch. Fires this ball too high and out of bounds. Sorozabal and Augie, the winners in Post 4. Augie's first win in the game.
I don't know. I felt relaxed in that game. I didn't want to get too nervous, and we played relaxed. I was confident in Augie, you know. And I guess he's confident in me. He let the rebote go, and when I have a difficult ball, I let go to him because I know he's a good catcher. So we didn't have to do anything great. We had the chance to come back 3 times. And just being relaxed, we won it.
I knew we had a good chance because it kept going round and round. And when we got up again, having a good quality partner, Sorozabal here, one of the best in the world, we did the job. Just a mistake on their part, and we took advantage of it. And like I said, we got the game point. And Sorozabal has a very good rebote, and you know, I'm just back there to protect the chula more or less. And I let it go to him, and he made some nice rebotes inside.
Yes, I feel good right now. I took a 2 weeks vacation that I really did enjoy and needed it, and now I'm back. I feel like playing. I feel good, and hopefully I'm going to end up the season good.
Why do you think this game went on like so long that it did? Guys got the game point, just couldn't close it. How come?
Because people get nervous, you know, and that game is very, very weird, you know. Since the beginning of the season, you know, we've seen weak teams beating big teams, and that's the way it goes.
It means a lot to me. Plus, we're both $250 richer, but it means a lot. Prestige, everything involved like that.
That concludes Inside Milford Highline. Don't forget, every Friday night in November, Milford Highline will be giving away $10,000 prizes. That's $10,000 given away every Friday night. So I'm sure you'll want to be here for all the exciting highlight action